If you're a caregiver for a loved one, especially someone living with dementia, you know that feeling. That sense of responsibility. It's pretty much constant, right? You just want them to be safe and comfortable in their own home. But there's always that little worry in the back of your mind. So today, let's talk about some simple, really effective tools that can bring both of you a whole lot more peace of mind.
And this quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It really captures that core fear that so many caregivers have. Sometimes it's the silence that's the scariest part. So we're going to tackle this feeling head on and look at some practical ways to create a much safer space.
Okay, so before we can even think about the right solutions, we've got to understand the problem itself. This isn't just about stopping someone from walking out the door, it's about understanding why they feel the need to. So let's dig into why wandering happens in the first place. This is such a critical question, because when we get the why, we can approach everything with so much more empathy and find tools that actually work. So what's really going on in their mind? Let's take a look. Wandering is almost never about someone trying to be difficult. It really comes down to confusion. Your loved one might genuinely not recognize their own home anymore, or maybe they think it's 1985 and they're late for a job they had 30 years ago. It could be something as simple as they're hungry or cold or just feeling restless. Understanding this is key. It's a symptom, not a choice. And that's exactly why having proactive safety measures is so important.
So, where do we start? Well, the first layer of protection is often the simplest and, honestly, one of the most affordable. We're talking about basic door alarms. Think of them as your first line of defense. The tech behind these is actually brilliantly simple, and that's why it's so reliable. You've got two little pieces, one goes on the door, the other on the frame. As long as that door is closed, they're lined up, the circuit's complete, and everything's quiet. But the second that door cracks open, that connection breaks, and bam, you get a loud, immediate alert. No Wi-Fi needed, no apps to check, just an instant warning.
And here are just a few great examples to give you an idea. That GE alarm is fantastic, super budget-friendly, and you can stick them on multiple doors. The Caregiver pager is a bit of a step up. You can have sensors all over the house that all send a signal to one pager that you carry with you. And the Sabre alarm is really cool because it's portable. You just hang it on a doorknob, which is perfect if you're traveling or staying somewhere new.
Now, this is a really important distinction to make, the difference between an alarm and a sensor. An alarm is loud. It makes a noise right there in the moment to stop someone from leaving. A sensor, on the other hand, is quiet. It just sends a little notification to your phone. So while sensors are great for just keeping tabs on general activity, when your main concern is preventing wandering, a loud, immediate alarm is usually what you're going to want.
But what if you can't be in the house 24/7? Or what if your safety concerns go beyond just the front door? Well, that's when we start looking at more advanced monitoring systems.
This is where technology can be a real game changer, helping you bridge that physical distance. With some of these systems, you can use an app on your phone to check in, get alerts about activity, or even start a video call that pops up right on their TV so they don't have to mess with any confusing tech. It just gives you that extra layer of connection and oversight without feeling too intrusive.
Now, for that very specific and, let's be honest, that very scary risk of a loved one wandering off and getting lost, a GPS tracker can be an absolute lifesaver. This tech goes way beyond just knowing if a door is open, to knowing exactly where your family member is right now.
And check this out. This is a perfect example of how clever and discreet these solutions can be. Instead of a clunky device they might forget or even refuse to wear, you can use something like these shoe insoles. You just slip a little AirTag inside and it's totally hidden in their shoe. They won't have a clue it's there, but you'll have their location right on your phone. It's pretty brilliant.
Okay, so as we move into these more advanced solutions, the way you pay for them usually changes a bit. Instead of just a one-time cost for the device, a lot of these comprehensive safety systems also have an ongoing monthly service plan. That's what pays for things like 24/7 professional monitoring.
And for anyone with a high risk of falling, this kind of technology is it's critical. The device can actually sense the sudden impact of a fall, and it will automatically call for help. This is huge because it works even if the person is unconscious or can't press the button themselves. It connects them to a real person at a monitoring center who can talk to them and get help on the way, fast.
Phew, okay, so we've looked at simple alarms, remote systems, GPS trackers, fall detectors, a lot of stuff. The goal here isn't to just pick one thing. It's about looking at all these tools and building a safety net that's totally customized for your family's unique situation.
And if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. There's no single magic bullet. No one product does it all. The absolute best approach is to layer these solutions. So for example, you might use a simple door alarm for that immediate alert, a remote camera to check in during the day, and those GPS insoles for that extra layer of protection.
So, here's a really simple action plan you can use. First, just assess your needs. What keeps you up at night? Is it wandering or is it falls? Then, start simple. You don't have to buy everything at once. Begin with a basic door alarm. From there, you can layer on other tools like remote monitoring only if you need them. And finally, just remember that technology is only one piece of the puzzle. It works best as part of a bigger safety plan.
Ultimately, it all comes down to this one question. It's not about buying every single gadget out there. It's about thoughtfully choosing the right combination of tools that are going to bring you and your loved one the greatest sense of security and real peace of mind.